I know we're all Lord Thors, right? In the past couple of months, we've never played him.
I will say I think he has been in a rougher spot, to say the least. But I think with the new changes, he is quite strong now. I think his kidnap potential is very good.
Oh, one underappreciated buff that he got from last time previously was the ability, like the quality of life to cancel his awakening form.
Yep.
I don't remember how far back that was, but that
I
just
think that was
allowed
like season 2.
season 2. Yeah, that change was so nice because it just allows him to do
Maybe
a
2.
lot of
Yeah. And now we can just go right back into.
like his play pattern doesn't need to be so like rigid. I remember playing against a Thor where he would
It's not
lightning
nearly
room
as telegraphed, yeah.
and then you know, in the middle of the lightning room, if you stepped up too far, too close, or you're just out of position, you'll cancel it. Go for the what's it called, the kidnap, lightning awakening room again, and then cancel auto right click for the burst just to kind of finish you off. There's just a lot more flexibility in how he can be played because of that quality of life change.
He was supposed to be the hypermobile brawl tank, and he kind of got his ass kicked and didn't do that as well as some of the other brawl tanks. And now he can. I feel like he's got kind of the unique identity of like whipping the mouse around to kidnap people, or he can really maneuver around corners a lot better. His ability to use the map to his advantage, I think, is much higher now than it was otherwise. I think he still has a lot of the same struggles as he did before. Those are not like negated. Can prove difficult
Yeah.
just because
What would you
he.
say are the main struggles?
I mean, Emma, as always, being probably the best, if not the second best tank in the game. He can still
Eh,
get caught out for sure. He still
yeah,
seems very fair. He doesn't really have the like X factor that makes him like, oh my god, but over other tanks. But I think that he still kind of has the same struggles. Where he can still get caught out pretty easily. If he does not have someone in his back pocket or his teammates are not like immediately following up on the kidnaps. If he is targeting down squishies and he's able to kidnap a like a Luna or something, I think he is a good burst potential with if he has all his cooldowns. And that's like once he's burned his stuff, he's like, all right, that burst potential drops like a stone. And then he just becomes kidnap man for a little bit until he can get that back. At least in my mind, I could be very wrong. I want to watch what this young man does. He's watching that Daredevil like crazy.
I know they lost that team fight, but like one of the biggest strengths of Thor is preventing divers from diving.
There goes for the kidnap. Doesn't get it. Gets the mag in. Mag has to burn bubble. Invis dies here for sure. Oh, that sucks. He's still on this Daredevil though. He's doing a good job.
like, even just right there, he awakening rune to try and kill him.
Look at how low he is. Look at how low he is. He's so close. Forcing patty cake. Then we can follow up with him. I feel like he's just kind of trying to be in a position where he's annoying and like he's either taking space or he's just being annoying to people who are trying to walk on his back line. He's playing this. I don't know how to describe it other than just like this kind of neutral, reactive Thor, but also walking forward at the same time. One of the best Thor skins though, for sure, for sure. Got the sitting emote long before anybody else. My goat, dogs out for free.
I still play with the default.
I like the God King one, the one where he has the
helmet.
Yeah,
the Cursed King. Yeah, he's crazy.
My favorite one.
All right, he's just kind of hanging back a little bit.
Enemy team is playing Angela.
One of the biggest Angela counters. Yep, got her there. And does it early. looking hard at this Angela, as he should. Rounds on the corner to try and get the Angela. Gets the Angela. Keeps the Groot in. He's body blocking by standing kind of behind him while the Groot's still trying to fight the team. Grabs her. Beats her ass. Grabs the Groot. Grabs the Groot again before he gets his wall effect up. And it's just body blocking. He's just placing himself right between the Groot and the rest of his team. For the enemy Groot and his team, so they can't really heal him like that. It's almost like he's like acutely aware of exactly which angle to place himself in so that he can just keep kidnapping, keep making his life miserable, while also making sure that he's in range of his healers and they can see him, but his healers can't reach the Groot's healers can't reach him either. It's this dance that like he's got a pretty measured approach to it when he's playing his game. I've noticed that seems a lot more confident and a lot more effective when he's on defense, just because he has somewhere to go back to, as opposed to on offense where you have to keep walking forward, but also like pull people backwards. It's I feel like he's a lot more confident on defense. Puts the realm up to help with the devil. Swinging with the Angela. Gets the Angela back in. Really just playing as this big ball of a team right now.
Now they're still tank thing to Thor.
It's interesting. I feel like they're not still playing as kind of that ball like they were earlier. That's the kill. There we go.
That was huge. One in the game with that kidnap their invis, force the double
That's
jump.
really wild. I feel like the big lesson to learn here is that if you're going to be on Thor, just kind of wall up with your team. Just play as a big, like reminiscent of deathball comps in Overwatch, where you just stay clumped to 6, walk up as a team, and honestly, I'm shocked they were able to ignore the Moon Knight almost as stacked up as they were. Like it was really interesting to see that and see it work really well. I think that the Blade was a good choice because if you're all grouped up like that, you're walking as one and you're all kind of got to be in close range for all the melee that you've got. You're going to be, you getting big value there. Big Blade ults as well. I think it's an interesting, very brawl comp.
Honestly, I think the group pick is also essential to this defense. Like, you see there in the comp, they got Moon Knight, Daredevil. Like, those two are not breaking walls fast.
They're not breaking walls fast, and Groot gives the Thor way more opportunities to like have a place to take whoever he's kidnapping. So I think that's
the isolation walls helps to capitalize on the kidnap.
So much space control of the space that they have. They might not be able to contest in as many places, but like they have picked obviously some of the best place to be on defense, and they're like, this is where we're gonna live. We're not gonna move too far from here. And like I don't think I've seen the Invis or the Luna move from like maybe here to maybe back here, but they have not really moved from this area. Like and I think the Groot helps them control that one spot really well. Do you want to go ahead and go to the next one? Or this is going to be some real MRC Thor gameplay, gamers. Cancer Hippo. I want to see how this Thor takes this engage. Or if he's gonna do that same kind of death ball kind of comp.
But looking at their comp, they got 3 displacers: the Invis, the Wolf, and the Thor.
They're walking. Wait a minute. Okay. Wolverine jump. Doesn't even have time to react.
Jump back too.
Adios.
Yeah, you don't. When he does that, you don't ever have Like you're in stomach the entire time. You can trust me. I've been many a grabbed by Wolverine.
I think there is not a member of the tank council that has not been yoinked and sploinked by the old Wolvie jump pack. All right, Thor is just in there. He is mixing it up. Comes back. Another one. You thinking about it? He's like, we have point. I'm not gonna overextend and it. All right, seize the opportunity on the invis. It's like, nah. Stunned for the Bucky reset. You'd love to see that.
Yeah, you got that Emma too.
It's interesting to watch how Cancer Hippo plays versus the Thor we just watched, because he's much more kind of playing super patient, just waiting for them to make a mistake and then punishing that, as opposed to like, all right, I'm gonna like be actively looking for kidnaps and stuff. He's like, nope, y'all can come walk up to me.
Now, is that a product of ranked versus
organized play?
Yeah.
I think the Thor flexibility, like specifically, I keep thinking back to that Araco game that we watched, where they picked that spot and they did not move from that spot, but maybe a couple feet, and they were able to control it exceptionally well with the Groot Thor combo of just giving Thor a place to kidnap someone to, and also just like being able to lightning vortex that one spot. If the devil comes in, he gets stunned or grounded. If anybody else decides to walk in, if the Angela walks in, she gets nuked. Like, it's, I feel like if you are able to have a particular spot that you are just committed to holding on defense, Thor is really, really good at that. I feel like you could low-key replace Emma, or you replace Groot with Emma or Mag there as well, just to be like, nope, you still have somewhere to go. You can the body blocking, I think, is a big piece of playing Thor as well. More like if you have to have that constant awareness of, am I positioning myself where my healers can heal me, but also that I'm using my giant health pool and my big body to just block heals to the enemy tank or whoever I'm kidnapping.
Yeah.
And I think we saw that a little bit last game, but not as much. I think this is Cancer Hippo plays a much more kind of patient, reactive Thor.
Pick your hero or villain.
Until he's like, nope, I've got my one target, and then it's go time. But he takes that time to be like, all right, I'm going to wait to see how this team fight kind of starts to evolve, and then I'm going to commit to like nuking this one individual. I'm kind of playing the role of Angela here, where being like, all right, nope, I'm gonna make him have a bad day.
Not gonna lie, I think Thor might be better for dealing with Cap than Angela is.
Absolutely.
Angela can absolute downright just delete Thor. I mean, not Thor, sorry, delete Cap every 18 seconds. But Thor can just always perma-mark Cap, because even though Cap has slightly better mobility, or slightly more consistent mobility,
Thor can chase him.
I mean, too, I would imagine you just like grab Thor with shift, or grab Cap with shift, and then you just bubble immediately so Cap can jump.
I mean, not only that, but like with Thor, you don't even have to commit to like killing him. It's just like you can chase him out until he's like, nope, I don't want to fight you anymore. Yeah. And even then, that's still a win. He has to walk back to his team with not really getting any value.
the fact that like you can go on, but there's just tanks that do his job better, sadly.
Yeah.
It'll always be a why go Thor when this is open or this is open.
Which tanks do his job better?
Look at one person until they die kind of tank. Angela does pretty good, I think, at that.
If we're talking about just the displacement, Angela. If we're talking about being a frontliner, Groot, Strange,
Emma.
Mag, Emma. If we're talking about Disruption, Venom, Hulk. We're talking about brawling. I mean, Loki even Thing does his job pretty similar to him.
Honestly, this is with the buffs. I think Thing is better, but I think Thor is with the flexibility that he has to kind of do a little bit of everything. Thing is just still so pigeonholed. I think Thor does Thing's job better than Thing. Into if you are a good Thor, there's a big asterisk there. You are a really good Thor. I think you can do Thing's job better than Thing. Anti-dive, like
Anti-dive is 100% thing. Maybe not 100%.
I think it depends on who you'd want, you know, if who you're anti-diving, right? If it's like anti-dive like Star-Lord or something like that, Thor's probably better. But if it's going to be like your
He has more
actual full
movement,
dive,
more mobility, so he can like keep pace. Or you can kind of mark the really hyper mobile characters a lot better than Thing can. But I think it also depends on what you're running as a team too. I think that's because if you're running a team that like, I feel like if you're playing a team that's like really grouped and needs like immediate peel, I think it's Thing. But if your team is like kind of split, I think Thor is probably better for dealing with the anti-dive because they both do the same thing.
Would you say biggest takeaways?
target prio has to be absolutely unlocked, and also understanding that like the standard rules of all right, in every situation you're going to look for this person. It was very much varied from fight to fight. Like who is Thor looking at until they die, and then when do you decide who you're looking at until they die? I think are like the biggest things. It's like pacing, patience, and target prio. Also, just be like, if you're looking at a tank and you've decided the tank is the one you're going to be dying, you're going to be doing storm surge into storm surge into storm surge into storm surge, and you're going to do that until their team commits an ultimate to get them out, or a major cooldown, or something, and then you just keep doing that same thing. You just make their life absolutely miserable. It feels like a lot of limit testing as well. It feels like a whole lot of limit testing of like what, almost in the opposite direction though. Like what reaction are you going to have to them walking in, and like how are you going to continue to punish them? Like just poke from range with Awakening just to farm ult, or try and help someone who's a little further up who's doing big damage, just kind of change that kill threshold a little bit. There's just a lot of flexibility, and it's like the biggest thing is knowing what to do the right time, because there's so much you can do in a situation. What is the right choice for the situation that you're in, and like constantly thinking about that and like committing to it, not like, all right, I'm going to do a little bit of this and I'm going to do a little bit of this, I'm just going to cycle through everything, but like efficiently making choices, I think is another big part of it. Wild stuff, especially like at the highest levels, where you just see like all these different gameplay loops and how Thor meshes in. Because, and I think like we were talking about a little bit about it earlier, about it kind of being a weakness of his, of like, oh, there are a bunch of other tanks that do everything he does well.
What would you say are like the biggest strengths? That versatility?
Are there any tanks that do everything that he does, in the sense of like how flexible are some of the other tanks in the roster? I feel like Venom has his one gameplay loop, and that's about it. Uh, Emma is also kind of that Swiss Army knife versatility for sure. Like just good in any situation almost. I don't think that there are many who have just like the versatility of Thor, and knowing like what kind of subsection of his kit, so to say, you're going to use in a particular moment, and being like, able to constantly rotate that. If we're going to look at it from a macro perspective, I think it's the versatility, the fact that you can pick a situation and Thor is going to be able to handle some aspect of it for the most part. Obviously, you know, the weaknesses we talked about earlier, but I think that there's always something for him to do, as opposed
Yep.
to some tanks where like, oh, if you're running Venom and they just go hard anti-dive and they're just nuking you out of the sun, not really much you can do there. But with Thor, it's like, no, I'm actually not going to play up as far. I'm going to play as this kind of anti-dive brawl tank. Or if they are, you know, not really committing or anything, you can be a little more aggressive. You can pick the tank that walks up a little too far and pull him back in. It's just like that constant rotation of like, oh, the situation's changed. I'm just going to change how I play. I'm not going to change my hero. You know what I mean?
Or even against like flyers, where you can just get up there, bubble them, and take him out of the sky.
I think Kidnap is like in terms of identity, I think it's going to become what he's most known for, and just like being able to kidnap people around corners. Like not that used to be only a Bucky thing where you you hook and then you dash and then bam, they're around the corner and they have to work super hard to get out. Now Thor can do that, but it's on like a 1 second cooldown.
Yeah, it should definitely improve his brawl identity.
I think so. I think so as well.
What would you say? What would be a buff you would give that would make him a meta pick?
Maybe a little more survivability could be game breaking for him. Obviously, you don't want it to be too much, but a little more overhealth I think would be cool for him. Being kind of the overhealth merchant. I don't think we have, aside from Venom, anybody who's really like that. But Venom gets it once every like what 15, 12 seconds or something like that, and Thor is like constantly generating overhealth. I feel like allowing him to lean into that a little bit more, make him feel more like a tank. Because outside of that, he's just a 600 health guy getting binked and bonked unless you have really good supports. I would say an extra 50 overhealth on the use of each of his abilities, and to kind of compensate a little bit, I might accelerate I might decrease the time until it starts decaying a little bit, just to make sure that he's not like way too tanky. But I think giving him more overhealth in the moment, um, and increasing the maximum as well, just making him feel a lot more capable to take hits without like having to be absolutely babysitted by his supports. I think that's the one change I would make, because unless you're playing on a really coordinated team, it's going to be a lot harder to do what he wants to do. We saw it on the first game we watched, where it was a comp game and not like an MRC game. He was having a lot more trouble staying alive, versus having god tier supports in his pocket for the MRC games and like real team coordination and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think survivability, oddly enough, I think it is one of his like the keystones of his kit, and I think it's strong-ish, but I don't think it's as strong as it needs to be to give him that kind of X factor to compete with the rest of the cast.
What if instead of the 200 health he got from going into Awakening Room, he got like a 100 initial 100 over health, and then he had health scaling per hit.
Like on hit, he's able to, on each shot he's able to hit, he's rewarded for hitting his shots with more overhealth.
Yes.
Maybe like what 25 per hit or something like that, and then it decays after like a little bit longer period of time. And since the overhealth generation is really the only way you have to mitigate damage, at the end of the day, like you're not able to prevent them from using you for ult charge. Like God forbid they have a really good Moon Knight who's already getting his ult fast enough. He's just going to use you as a battery to farm and get charged even faster. Phoenix, I think, is obvious. Like all the really good poke characters are really good into him, just because they have tools to either knock him back or stun him or get away from him, or like he has to work really hard to chase them down, and it's really easy if you tunnel onto one of those to get caught out by the enemy team and just die. Yeah, I think the survivability thing is his biggest thing. He's supposed to be this hyper tanky, like go in, get out, kidnap people. But if he can't live without, top 500 supports, and even then struggle sometimes, like you're gonna. I just feel like that's his biggest weakness is
I
fixing
think
that
that's why a lot of
survivability.
people just refer to him as a big DPS.
Yep. He is the most DPS like tank. But yeah, if you know his combos, if you know how to coordinate with your team to pick a spot and say, nope, this is our line in the sand. I think he can be crazy effective. I think he can be crazy effective. And knowing like when to move that line, when to pull it back, when to push it up, and just saying like, oh, this is the one spot we're gonna hold until we decide otherwise, or the game is over. I will constantly be thinking that a Rocco game where they're like, nope, we're gonna sit right here, and they won. They won. They burnt like over 2 minutes just hanging out right there, and got it to OT, portal, nuked them all, and they died.